We're back here on the Talk Monster, Talk Radio 102.3. I am Yaffe. This is a revolution in common sense. That's what we do here on the show. If you want to weigh in on the show, you can. We have our text monster, 423-267-1023. 423-267-1023. One person asked, why doesn't Trump require Israel to sign a minerals deal? Said, how much have we invested in them that we're on the hook for? Trust me, Israel has given a lot back to us, too. Don't worry. A lot of our military technology, other stuff, they have, trust me, they've paid us back in many ways. All right, let's get to the headlines right now. We have the Tennessee Bullet Points.
The Tennessee Bullet Points, the top headlines from around the Volunteer State.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Conservative. They're the Volunteer State's largest conservative news source. Number 4 today, the Tennessee Valley Authority may maintain some coal-powered plants past 2035. That's right, according to the Times Free Press. The TVA could continue to operate at least part of its coal fleet past 2035. Now, the CEO, Don Moll, confirmed this in an earnings call on Thursday. Now, in early April, President Donald Trump, a longtime champion for coal, signed a series of executive orders designed to boost the struggling industry. The actions would enable some older coal-fired power plants set for retirement to keep producing electricity to meet rising power demand. Now, the federal utility TVA, which supplies power to about 10 million people across parts of 7 states, had previously said it would retire its entire coal fleet by 2035. The CEO said, we are reevaluating the end-of-life study that we did on our coal fleet, and we're taking a hard look at our asset strategy with regard to the regulatory environment that is in front of us. So we really have to fall back on least cost planning principles per the TVA Act. So I think that's actually a really good thing. As I've said, when it comes to switching to renewables or whatever, you're not going to replace coal with something like renewables. It's not going to happen. Renewables are a good supplement, not a good replacement. Number 3, a Tennessee bill could criminalize approaching police within 25 feet if they tell you to stop. That's right. A new Tennessee bill, House Bill 55, is facing criticism for a provision that would make it a misdemeanor to approach a police officer within 25 feet after being told to stop. Now, supporters argue that the measure is meant to protect law enforcement officers from distractions, which makes sense to me, while critics fear it could infringe on constitutional rights, especially the ability to record police actions in public. Now, I feel like you could do that even from 26 feet. Am I wrong on that, Max?
No, I think you're exactly right. And I'm going to tell you something. You don't like people right up in your face when you're trying to do police work. You can't watch everybody.
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah. Former Hamilton County District Attorney Neil Pinkston expressed concerns that the bill could lead to arrests of citizens who are simply documenting police encounters. Now, the legislation does not include exemptions for the press or legal observers, and the 25-foot restriction would go into effect July 1st, 2025, if passed and signed into law. I don't know if that actually will be signed, though. Do you support that? Is 25 feet a good measure? Or?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
at least it gives you a little bit of, you got a half second to react, and really that's about all you've got.
Right.
I mean, somebody can move 25 feet pretty fast, but the thing is, who wants somebody right up in their face while they're trying to conduct an
People that are
investigation?
against this are just usually distrustful of police in general, I think, it's that whole issue again.
You can take photos from 25 feet
Yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah. Number 2 today, we have the latest with the court of the former Speaker of the House, of the Tennessee House. The witnesses have continued. Now, former State Representative Robin Smith, who pleaded guilty to one charge, is a key figure in the federal corruption trial of Glenn Casada and Cade Cothran. The trial involves charges of bribery, kickbacks, and money laundering, as you know, related to a mailer business. Now, Smith faced tough questioning from the defense, who implied she was the mastermind behind the alleged scheme. Now, the defense challenged Smith's testimony and suggested she was only testifying to get a lesser sentence. Prosecutors argue that Cothran and Casada were involved in the scheme, but the defense claimed that legislators doing consulting work was not illegal. So that trial, that's one reason why the session kind of ended early, so that trial continues on, and we'll see what happens. Number one, Tennessee Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti is supporting the Department of Justice and their creation of a Second Amendment task force. That's right, Tennessee Attorney General was among a group of 26 state attorneys general who expressed their support for the U.S. Department of Justice's new Second Amendment Enforcement Task Force created under U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, on April 8th, Bondi sent a memo to all DOJ employees announcing the creation of the task force, which at the direction of the President Donald Trump's executive order, directs the Attorney General to assess ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment and create a plan of action to protect Second Amendment rights of all Americans. And Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti said he supports it, and in a letter, they expressed their concerns with the previous administration's misguided approach to the Second Amendment, saying, "We saw a particularly troubling animus against the Second Amendment put into action in the last administration," which, of course, it's just, I love how people are like, "Oh, Trump's such a fascist. He's using the government." In the Biden administration, they used all levels of government, all levers of government for their left-wing agenda. It was so obvious, and Trump is merely stopping that. And they're like, "Oh, he's an evil fascist," and all of that nonsense. But anyway, we'll talk more about that, and we're going to talk more about the legislative session that ended, because we're going to speak with someone with TennesseeConservativeNews.com, the reporter Adelia, who was there in Nashville, kind of reporting on everything that was going on. So we'll talk with her in the next segment. And by the way, this segment brought to you by the Tennessee Conservative. A lot of the stories I get for the bullet points, I get right there, TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Go today, subscribe for free. And when you do, let them know Yaffe was the one who sent you. Back in a moment.